While riding around at Natchez Trace State Park, I saw some signs behind me, and I turned around here. And what I saw were signs saying a cemetery. And every now and then I get this urge to check out an old cemetery. Because I guess I look around and I think, gee, I hope somebody's remembering who's here. It just seems odd that so much has been forgotten, and it leaves me somewhat unsettled. So I got to go check it out. I don't think it's necessarily what you'd call a morbid curiosity, but every now and then I'll see a cemetery that I'm driving along the road, and it'll look in semi-disrepair, and I'll stop and look at it. And I was unable to find information specifically about the two cemeteries that I'm about to visit. So I can only speculate. I have no idea. They were probably original settlers to the area, or they very well could have been slave cemeteries from early black communities. So for whatever reasons, these people have been laid to rest in these spots. I just decided I'm going to go check this out. So here we go. And the thing is, too, that there are certain stones that have been either updated, or you can see that somebody's researching at least who was there. And but still, I just couldn't find anything other than maybe the local cemetery records if you want to look for a grave here. But as far as history goes, who they are, where they came from, why they were laid to rest in that spot. Were they next to a church at one time? Was this just the hill of a nearby town that no longer exists? Who knows? I have no idea. Is it just families that lived in the area that owned the property before the park took over? And on the way to the cemetery, I saw a sign there, and I thought, maybe this is it, but it turned out not to be. I think the sign actually said something about chemicals being tested on the foliage in that spot. I don't remember, though. I'm not sure. It seems to me that's what it was. So it just said keep off. This past year, I went to Colorado, and I have learned to go a little slower on gravel roads since I've been to Colorado, because I hit some holes, and I messed up my the left side of my suspension, so and the tire wore unevenly by the time I got home. So it's probably going to cost me a bundle to fix. Oh well. What are you going to do? I figure when I see that I get about 1,000 members or 1,000 followers, or subscribers is what they call them on YouTube. When I get 1,000 subscribers, I may contact Patreon and see if I can get a link. Because the traveling, honestly, now is getting expensive. It was, at the time I did this, it really wasn't so bad. It was okay. It hadn't gotten out of hand yet, prices. But it certainly is now. I'm surprised people can go anywhere if you're on just your average income like me. And that stick we're driving by right there, that was on the ground, I hit that on the way back, and it flipped up and hit me in the side. Gave me a good shot. I'll leave the audio in it. You'll hear when that happens. Now, these cemeteries are both on the park map, but that's really all I could find about them. So if anybody actually has some history or knows a link to a blog or something that gets into a bit of this, let me know. If you're from the area or you're familiar with the area. I know a lot of people do a lot of stuff about cemeteries, but I just couldn't find anything. Robertson, the Robertson Cemetery.
Great. I heard gunfire.
There are other cemeteries there also. I just happened to stumble upon these two.
$18.91. Oh, that's not too bad. Let's see if I can get in there.
You can tell there's some concern about the upkeep and it's mowed and whatever, but
15.
it's nice to know that somebody's at least keeping an eye on this stuff. I know you can't keep everything, but I don't know. I just think it's pretty sad that people spend their whole lives building what we stand on, and now we're standing on them, basically. You can see the original stone up there. That's a redone. Oh, that looked like the mother and son is what it looked like. Infant son. Maybe she died in childbirth. Now I'm assuming Miracle is actually the last name. I don't know. That's why I wish I would have been able to find out more about the cemetery itself.
Okay. Let's see if I can get the hell out of here. Oh boy. I don't have much water either.
And this is all on the way to Parker's Crossroads. I hadn't actually planned this little extra excursion, but I just decided to do it because I figured I had time.
Oh, Jesus. Wouldn't you know? Son of a... I hit that piece of wood and it flipped up and hit me in the side. That'll teach me, huh?
Actually, I just posted a video of, it said trying the pavement at Natchez Trace State Park. Well, this was in there, and I cut it out because it was too much of a diversion from the ride out of the park to Parker's Crossing. Over to the right, you can see a bit of a path, but there was a sign there saying path closed, so who knows why. But that was part of one of the park paths, I guess. All this is, I suppose. Foster Cemetery.
That came out a little better, that one. Wow. Some of them just have bricks marking them because they probably don't even know who's there anymore. Wow. Am I looking at the back of them? Yes, I am. It's this one. Do-do-do. 1889. Oh, look at that, it was painted.
The graves I do decide to take pictures of, it's probably just because you can see a little more of the writing on them than other ones. There's no real specific reason other than that.
To read them.
Or if they're interesting.
Oh,
Shape-wise or design-wise.
People who once were. Wow. Penny. Look at that. There's a penny.
This one was definitely bigger than the first one.
Time to find your way out of here.
now the long route back to the road. Kind of surprises me in retrospect how far I actually rode into the woods to see those. It's quite a distance. Now back on the way out of the rest of the park to Parker's Crossroads.
I've just learned a comic ditty from some of my friends in the city. The voices are short, and I think that you ought to admit that the chorus is pretty. There was a young lady in Pella, fell in love with a bow-legged fella. This husky young chap made her sit in his lap, but she fell straight through into this cellar. Fa-la-la-la, fa-la-la-la, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Fa-la-la-la, fa-la-la-la.